What's up, guys? C Baby here, back with another story time. And in today's story time, I'm going to be talking about the first time I went to jail. Before I start this video, I just want to start by saying I don't think going to jail is cool. I don't promote any act of violence. I'm just sharing my experience of life and my first time going to jail. So let's get into the story. So I'm going to start this story off by starting when I'm in the cop van getting transported to juvenile detention. If you guys want a story time about my charges and the story behind my charges, leave a like, subscribe, comment, show some love, and I will be gladly to show that story with you. But let's get into the story. Anyway, so I'm in the cop van being transported from court to the juvenile detention center. I was 16 at the time, mind you, so I was very, very nervous. I don't even remember what was going through my mind, but I remember just being completely shocked, like nervous, like just completely scared because the place I was going to was this is where everybody in my county went to if you had a gun charge, if you had a murder charge, if you had yada yada yada. This I was being sent to where everybody in the county at a young age would be sent to if you got a charge and were sent to a juvenile detention center. So whatever. I get to the juvenile detention center and they put me in a fishbowl. If you don't know what a fishbowl is, it's basically like a cell that has walls, but it's plexiglass, so they can see everything. And there was like a mattress in there that was about 1 inch thick, and it was just like plastic. It was horrible, but they were just processing all my information. I was just sitting there going through my head, regretting everything. In a situation like that, you're just going through every situation you've gone through in life, and saying like, "Oh, I could have did this, and this better." But anyway, I was sitting in there for about like an hour and 30, but it felt like probably 3 hours. And the doctor comes in and starts asking me questions. She asked me like if I've ever been here, and I was like, no, I never been here. She tells me like, don't do gang signs, don't do this, don't do that. Mind you, I'm from New York. I'm not gonna say where in New York, but there, it gets active around here where I'm from. So anyway, I get done getting processed. They call me out of the fishbowl and they're like, all right, Cam Boaz, follow me. So I stand up, and mind you, I already had taken a shower and they took my clothes, they put them in storage, and they gave me these, jail clothes, juvenile detention clothes, jail clothes, same shit. So he calls me, so I start walking toward him and I start going to the pod. The first corner I hit, I walk past the corner about half a foot, and the CEO or the TA or whoever you want to call it that was transporting me from intake to the pod was like, yo, 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 you can't pass the corner like that. And mind you, I'm white, I'm nervous as fuck, so I like go back to the corner. I'm like, what you mean? And he told me, he was like, you gotta wait at every corner before the CO gets here to let you know you're clear. So this was all new to me, so I was like, all right, bet. So I just listened to him. I got to the pod. When you get into the pod, you basically have like your sheet, your blanket, and your night clothes that you're gonna be taking with you for the night. But everybody's looking at you when you walk into that pod. So when I walked in the pod, I was acting like I wasn't scared at all. I was, humbling myself. And there was one black kid, one Hispanic kid, and one white kid. So I go into my cell, I set my shit up. And I'm not gonna lie, bro. Like, I was in there for a hot 2.5 hours. I was just nervous as fuck to go outside. But then it came dinner time, and it was like, basically, I had to go out. So I went out of my cell, I went up to the tables, and, that acting, charisma, cockiness kicked in, and I sat at the table. Like, nobody's gonna fuck with me. And the black kid with the face tats, he goes up, he says, like, yo, where you from? And I tell him where I'm from. And he's like, yo, you gotta talk to the other white boy over there. He's from where you're from, too. But whatever. They give us our lunch, our dinner, and it's pizza, and it's basically like plastic pizza. I'm from New York, so this pizza was like complete dirt compared to what I'm used to. But after we were done eating, the black kid with the face test was asking me like, "Yo, you trying to join a gang?" And obviously, I was like, "Nah, bro. Like, I don't do that. I don't gang bang." Like, what I said was, "I don't gang bang. I don't do that. I'm just here to do my time, and that's it." I don't remember what was said exactly, but I remember he was like talking me into it, and I was scared. Like, this is my first day here, and I was like, "All right, bet. Like, I'll do whatever." So he really pressured me, and I was really scared. And I was 16. I was young at the time, and I was like, "All right, fine, whatever." So he started breaking down the lingo. He started giving me the code for it. He was like, "Yo, when you wake up in the morning, you gotta say Yo Sev when you wake up." Like, and I was just like, "Yo, this shit is crazy." But then the one thing he told me was, he said, "You agreed to be in this, so now you have to beat up that other white boy in our pod, or I'm gonna beat you up." So I said, like, "No, no, no, bro, I got you. What you need me to do?" Mind you, I only said that shit because I was scared. I didn't know what to do. So we start chopping it up, just talking about casual shit, trying to make it seem like we're not talking about anything deep. And he tells me, he says, "I'm gonna need you to wait until the end of the night where they give us the library books. And when they give us the library books, when he goes to the bathroom, I need you to go into the stall with him and sneak him and, beat on him." So I was scared, feel me? And I was like, "Alright, bet. I'm gonna do that." We made a plan. I was honestly gonna go through with it. I was gonna go through with it because honestly I was scared and I didn't know what to do. So time came when we were supposed to lock in, and the library books came around. And I went up to the library books. The plan was for me to go up to the library books, pretend like I was looking through the books, wait for him to go to the bathroom, because usually everybody goes to the bathroom before they lock in so they don't have to press the buzzer and make a whole commotion about going to the bathroom. But I'm pretty sure he got word from somebody, I don't know who in the pod, but I'm pretty sure he got word that like some shit was gonna go down where I was gonna fight him. So I was sitting there looking through the books, waiting for him to go to the bathroom so I could sneak up on him. And he ended up just taking a book and going straight to his cell and locking in. So at that point, I looked back at the black kid that was giving me orders on what to do, and he gave me like this sign, like cut it off, like it's over with. And at that point, I was relieved. I was like, "All right, bet I don't gotta fight nobody. I can go to my cell. I can go to sleep." So I go to sleep, and the first night, I barely got any sleep because when I went into my cell, my lights were on, so I was reading my book. And about 2 hours go by, and the lights still haven't gone off. So I'm thinking to myself, like, damn, like they must have forgot to turn my lights off. So I hit the buzzer, and mind you, when you hit the buzzer, the whole pod hears it. It was late, so people were probably sleeping, but I'm sure at least one or two people heard it, you know what I mean? So he answers the buzzer, and he's like, "Yo, what's up?" And I tell him, I'm like, "I'm pretty sure you guys forgot to turn my light off." 30 seconds go by, I hear nothing. And I'm like, "What the fuck? Is this shit not working right?" So I press the buzzer again, and I hear him answer the buzzer, because there's like a little noise when you answer it. And he just kind of like chuckles a little bit, and then like ends it. So I wait about like 30 seconds. I hit the buzzer again, and he just like chuckles and then ends it. So then I was just thinking to myself, like, damn, this is really where I'm at. It was really an eye opener to the situation I was in. So the way I went to sleep that night is I took my shirt off, I wrapped it around my face to cover my eyes, and I went to sleep. So I wake up in the morning for count. And after count, we sit at the tables, and the black kid comes and sits right next to me. And he tells me, he says, "Yo, I got court today. We're going to do that situation when I get back from court." And I was like, "All right, bet." So, whatever, we're watching TV. Time comes, he goes to court. I'm chopping it up with all the other people in the pod. And about 4 hours go by, and he still hasn't came back. So I'm thinking, like, damn, like, did he get released? So I asked the CEO, I'm like, "Yo, what happened to so and so's name?" And he tells me, he's like, he got released. And when he said he got released, my heart was so relieved, because that mean I didn't have to fight that other white kid. I didn't have to, prove myself to anybody. So that's the end of the story. If you guys enjoyed this story time, leave a like, subscribe, show some support, and I'll be back with another one soon. Peace.